Okay. It is time, ladies and gentlemen. We are live, and it has
Hello.
been a while. Hi.
How are you doing?
Hello.
How are we all doing today?
All right.
Yes, you
Uh,
can be.
I'm alive.
Good.
I'm free from classes and everything now, so life will be less hectic for me.
A good
I
start.
still got classes.
Unfortunate. Imagine educating yourself. Right.
Pipe
Yeah,
dream,
well,
to
I
be
don't want to
sure.
work retail all my life, so.
I hear
Cheers,
you
we'll drink to
1000%.
that.
Yep. Yep. I think everybody in the chat can get behind that one. So, first of all, welcome back. It has been a little bit of a while. Many things have happened since the last time we've seen each other.
Live.
Hello, Craig. Yep, yep. It's been a little while. Um, yeah, and many news things have happened. I have gotten married since, which explains a little bit the hiatus. So apologies again, since planning a wedding and executing a wedding took a little bit of my time. We had to take a little bit of a break, but we are now back and fully functional. The force is with us, and we're ready to rock some socks off.
Functionals, I
Congratulations,
can't
by
be.
the way.
Thank
Yeah.
you so much. It is appreciated. It is appreciated. Since Orta did us the favor of coming all the way to our wedding, and since Zoro is not in this particular stream today, Orta, you are going to be the one drawing a card. I know how you love doing that, so we're gonna
Oh
do that.
gosh.
Wasn't
Oh
it your
boy.
birthday? Wasn't it your birthday?
It was.
Wow.
Yeah, it was my birthday during hiatus. Like
Yeah, so I'm picking on you twice today. Sorry.
on Nards.
Oh yeah. Are you ready for an absolute
I'll go,
shitfest of
I'll go
random
there.
things happening to you again and throwing you completely off course?
Yeah.
I know how you love deck of many thing cards.
It's only a little bit of anarchy and derailing an entire character.
I mean, look, shit,
What's a little bit of derailment?
Yeah, it's like doing
right?
space, it's like doing a spacewalk and being hit by a miracle meteor.
Hmm.
Yo. So yeah, we're gonna have ourselves a little bit of fun, and we're gonna go from there. Small reminder for those of you rejoining us for the first time in a little while. Let's spawn a Sith temple, Craig, please. Yes, so I was saying, for those of you rejoining us for the first time in a little while, when we last ended the last time, um, for a while now, our party has been somewhat harried by and by harried, I don't mean they were made into wizards, they're already space wizards, but they were harried, proper harried, by a unseen assailant that seemed to have been tasked with terrorizing them at every corner. Random assassination attempts, sniper shots fired out of the blue, even demolitions that culminated, in their spaceship getting blown to bits. Thankfully, everybody was able to evacuate on time before the whole thing
Fucking Hunt
fully
owes us a new ship.
detonated. But yes, as was further pointed out, the hut that our friend here on Mibble, uh, what's the word? For lack of a better term, cheated out of a fully functional data pad with a certain code on it. Did not take that super happily. And so the end result had been, yes, this stealthy, shadowy figure, making their life a miser for the better part of the last three episodes. There was even a pair of HK47s, I believe they were. They were the red ones. That's an HK47, I think it was, right? Yeah, there was even a pair of
It was whichever one
HK47.
that explodes on contact.
Yep, the HK. Well, yeah, on death. But yeah, there are even a pair of HK47 production models that basically did themselves the favor of trying to pick up on the bounty here and attacked you guys. as one of the previous roles you guys did was indeed for a impromptu boss fight. Actually, no, that was the leftover.
You forced that.
Yes, it was the result of me doing an Extra Life donation during the Extra Life week. And I believe it was applied to all the shows, which means unfortunately you guys had to deal with a boss too while we were at it. But either way, yes, we had a lot of fun. And so, through trials and tribulations, our party had managed to flee to the local cantina, along with the owner of said cantina that had been poisoned and almost killed in a previous episode, and find some form of refuge and solace as they were trying to find Onley's mother, who seemed to have a bit of a connection to the currently ongoing situation. Long story short, we are now in the follow-up phase to that, as you guys managed to bunker down and hunker down for the night. Do remember to please rest, as is required here. And following that, you awaken along with, Tatooine's... Oh, it's twin sons? It's 2 or 3, I don't remember. Tatooine, it's been a while. I believe it's 2 sons on Tatooine, if my memory serves.
Yeah, it's 2 sons.
It is 2 sons, yes. So you are awakened by the rising, of Tatooine's twin sons, and it's time to start another day. When you do wake up, you find a quick note hastily scribbled by On Lee. She seems to have left it on the bar counter before leaving, I guess earlier than the butt crack of dawn at this point, saying, I figured out where my mom is, going there, meet you guys there shortly,
Get some answers.
getting some answers. And it's funny enough, the coordinates she left you are to a place you've already been to. It's been a while, so I don't expect everybody to remember, but I don't know if you remember a few episodes back, you guys had to go through this armored door in the sands of the desert, and
I figured as
you had to go to the bottom of an elevator shaft, and you were in this base of some sorts, right?
In the chaos, we had to save Onley.
Correct. Yeah, she went back, as that was the location where she last saw her mother, and most probably decided to investigate appropriately following the current situation. And so, on that note, I leave the microphone to you guys to tell me what you shall do, as morning does indeed begin.
Nibble's gonna
How the hell
look
are we
towards
supposed to get back to this place?
Oh, sorry, one at a time.
what was that?
So how the hell are we supposed to get back to this place? We have no gear.
It's not the one that's far out in the desert. It's not the Terentatek cave. This is the one on the outskirts of town that you guys went down, and there was a bunch of Trandoshans at the bottom, and I believe that was the one where the Rancors were situated.
Okay.
If that rings any bells. Not the one full of Terentatex and Sith weirdness. Not the cave.
Okay.
Yeah. So Nibble's gonna look towards Ota and goes, so what do we do now? We need a ship. Otherwise we're never gonna get off this planet.
Indeed.
Although Nibble remembering the code that he got from that said chip that he downloaded to his data pad or his Witch Watch or whatever it was. He does know it's for a ship.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe we could find that ship and take that instead.
It does seem like our best bet for the moment, though. I'm not sure. I'm not sure how we deal with this situation. The easiest answer is not the most likable answer, and I don't think it'll be the easiest answer either. I know how contrary that came off, but sorry, it's been a while, so I'm trying to remember how Orta exists.
While you do that, as you know, Mibble asks, what are we doing next? Orta, you hear within your mind the obvious answer that you would expect from Nyx as Nixie goes, we eat.
Par for the course.
The full course. The delicious full course.
One track mind.
We are many, but we are one.
Indeed.
Also, Nixie does have those cocooned Jawas.
Most probably, yes. She must have dragged them along with her, with
Yeah, she did.
with surprising strength, considering her now slightly diminished frame and slightly more humanoid frame. Another interesting point of interest as far as Mibble goes, you do notice that there is the pleasant aroma of stimcalf that is wafting from the kitchen. As it is safe to assume the Godel friend of Kodav's has been doing his best to at least make things, as far as your accommodations go, comfortable. But yes, stimcalf in the kitchen should you require it.
Oh yeah, Mibble's definitely getting some of that.
And getting in the kitchen, you notice that your Godel friend here, at least as far as you're capable of telling here without a medicine roll, seems to be doing a little bit better than he has been the last few days.
Good.
Cool. Kodav will give him the bones once over.
Please,
go
right ahead.
The tricorder, the sonic screwdriver to the eyeball, all that shit.
Yes, the old once-over scan.
It's like, damn it, Jim, a doctor, not a doctor.
Also, I think
Do I have to make a roll, or does he seem like he's on the mend?
I mean, what you can tell at a first glance is, yes, he does seem to be on the mend. If you want an expanded descriptive of his current condition, then yes, I will require the medicine roll.
Okay. Eight. 24.
Okay. Yeah, you can tell that his physiology, and especially from your knowledge of Godel anatomy, you're able to actually say, not say, but tell that the current ongoing state of his condition is that his body has been slowly flushing out the poison, and it seems that the worst is indeed behind you guys now, as his physiology should be able to keep up and fully metabolize what's left of the poison, thus having him get over his current assassination attempt in style.
Well, you definitely have a decent physique to deal with what's left of the poison. Just don't strain yourself too much for the next few days, and you should be good.
He nods and he says, "Many thanks, Jedi friend."
I'm not a Jedi.
And as usual, when you say that, he smiles. You saved his life. You know, it's like when you tell somebody I'm not a doctor and they keep calling you doctor after. But yes, so on that note, you are effectively more or less ready to go.
Maybe Kodem would want to store the Sith body that he has somewhere.
Oh, it
There
is.
is the possibility of that.
It's in the meat. It's in the meat locker.
Got it. I'm assuming you shoved the holocron in there with it.
Um,
What did you do with the holocron? That's the main
I
question.
have the holocron on me.
Okay.
Just because, like, I was able to lock it in a room. I don't have a secure place to keep the holocron,
Mm-hmm.
so I'm keeping it on me, and I'm just praying to the love of God that he doesn't decide to, like, pay me
Pop
a
out.
visit, like while I don't have him beside inside secured facilities, because he has a tendency to pop up and speak his mind on occasion. So
Correct.
I'm hoping beyond hope that doesn't happen, but it's like I have no, like, I can't
Recourse other than that.
yeah, I like it. He's too dangerous to leave someplace I can't put behind a locked door.
True. And I mean, considering the 3.5 inch by 3.5 inch for the Jedi ones, and then 5.5 inches on all three sides for the Sith ones on average, you can easily fit it within a backpack or something.
Yeah, that's what I do. I have it in my backpack, and I'm just, like I said, I'm just like, just in my mind, just like, just don't say anything until, like, we get someplace secure. Like, the last thing in my, like, I don't think Nibble would get too freaked out, but Orto would lose his shit. Get this thing activated.
No, Nibble would be very concerned. Anli wouldn't give a.
Yeah, Anli wouldn't give two shits. Like, or like my main concern is, like, I can't let Orta know I have this thing.
Orta raising this devour all entity, you carrying around Sith relics. You guys are about the worst bunch of Jedi I've ever seen, by the way.
Not a Jedi.
Just to say, y'all are the worst gang of goody two shoes I've ever bumped into. That
I'm
being
trying,
said,
okay.
yes, you just have parenting issues. It's not your fault.
Like, I'm here because I didn't want to get my ass beat by my aunt.
There is that. Yeah. Gran and Auntie are terrifying for sure. That being said, yeah. So the Sith bodies in the meat locker. Orta, where are you right now in the cantina?
How to put it? I mean, I woke up early. Not early enough, clearly. Otherwise, I would have been able to talk to Only before they headed out. And I've probably just been, with everything that's happened, morning rituals are a very important thing for keeping sanity. So I'm probably just finishing off morning meditations.
Okay. In the main room, I'm assuming, since the cantina is currently
Yeah.
closed. Do you head? And when you do wake up, do you head to the kitchen for some food? Do you head out? Like, what's your once your daily shower and then mental shower are done? Where do you head out?
As far as I'm aware, we're kind of wanted no matter where we go here, so I'd probably just be hanging out in the cantina.
Yes, I mean in the cantina itself. Do you go anywhere? Do you do
Yeah,
anything in
like
the
just
cantina
the
itself?
main foray, just sort of hanging out there.
Okay.
Realistically.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna need you to roll me a few things here. This is not the deck of many things, I'll reassure you. But as you do wake up, you realize that all night a certain somebody's been trying to get to its body. I need you to roll me the you-know-what for the you-know-why.
Was it?
Do you know
Remind me,
what was a wisdom save? Remember?
Yeah, okay, so wisdom save. That's where my brain was failing me. Been so long, I forgot we used real dice for a second.
Right.
I was about to use roll 20, and then I realized I'd probably die if I did that.
Why did I use roll 20 and spontaneously combust? Because you rolled off of roll 20.
Yeah, pretty much. Okay, I'm in my aura because I'm always in my aura, so I have a bonus to saving throws. 11. Some things never change.
When my man's got his aura turned on 24/7, we were always one with the Force.
It's not something you turn off, it's just always at your back. It's always
True.
with you, okay?
And with your spirit, yes. Now give me the roll, damn it.
I rolled an 11.
Okay. Is that with the plus? Is that with the
That
bonus
is
included?
with
Or...
the bonus. I rolled a 5.
Okay. As morning and dawn comes and you guys go about your daily businesses, Orta, I need you to give... What's your passive perception?
Passive perception.
Pretty high because of wisdom, but like, what are we looking at here?
We are looking at a passive perception of 16. No, wait. I have a... It's wisdom. It's perception plus proficiency. Is it 10 or 8 plus... Yeah, so 16. It's 16. It's 16. It's been a minute.
Yeah, don't worry. It's been a long time, who dis. You wake up and you do your meditation, and as you're doing your meditation, you start just hanging out in the main room of the cantina. You realize something about your soul saber feels wrong.
Oh no.
It feels lighter all of a sudden.
I'm looking immediately at it.
Yeah, from what you can tell, you can still feel one of the two souls that have been absorbed by it, but the other one seems to be missing.
Didn't we
Is
lop
it
the head off him the last time this happened?
Yeah, I decapitated a Sith body last time this happened.
Correct.
So... I'm gonna reach out into the Force to see if I can feel wherever that might be, wherever that spirit might have gone.
All right. Do you have any abilities like foresight or whatever that would help you with that, or are we just going straight off of your meditative feeling of the Force?
The best I can offer is just my natural inclination to the Force, as well as... Whereas... possibly the fate that I've got to apply.
Is he roboting for anyone other than me?
Getting
I'm
more.
probably-
He
roboting
is
now.
roboting a bit, yeah.
Yeah, not sure what to do about that. Yeah. If I'm going to eradicate, much to stop.
Oh boy, that is heavy roboting.
Oh yeah, very.
Good old roll 20.
Some things
Along-
never change.
Along with Twitch and Discord all put together. Yeah, that was better actually.
And my
Okay,
axe.
right. So, what were you up to? Sorry, if you want to try that again.
I was saying that like if maybe my empathic feat could apply, it basically lets me. What it actually does is it lets me roll insight checks against people's deception. On a success, I have advantage on attack rolls and stuff like that. But you know, I possess keen insight into how other people think and feel, which is what the flavor of empathic is. But
This is more than a vibe check. This is more like you want to find them, right? So it'd be more
Yeah,
against their
so.
stealth check if I had to say anything. So
That's fair. That's fair.
yeah, I'll let you go with either your perception, like an active perception check, investigation check, or otherwise just your straight up like force sensitive force casting roll.
For the sake of keeping things consistent, I'll do a perception. There's the new dice where I didn't roll my new dice before. That's probably what the issue was. I got a 24 in the perception.
Nice.
So You're not quite sure. You can feel it's not far. And just as you're about to say something, those of you in the kitchen hear a thumping sound from inside of the meat locker.
Oh no.
Oh, fuck.
Immediately heading to where I felt it.
Like, I scream Orta's name. Because I know what the hell is. I know what's going on, and I'm trying to hold the meat locker closed.
I rush in.
And this looks like a bad, like, B-rated zombie movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, where Kodav is like holding and pressing, against the door to the meat locker, and you just hear this rhythmic thumping against it, where it's kind of shaking on its hinges, and even Kodav, pushing against it here, is not preventing the door itself from trembling on its hinges as whatever's inside is trying to get out.
So are we storing in there again? Other than a body?
My Sith cadaver.
Yeah,
than
the
that.
headless Sith cadaver.
Like, I thought we were good once we took the head off. What's going on, Orta?
I wish I could tell you. I've never been a keeper of souls before. Am I gonna have to go in
Alright,
there?
so what are we doing here?
Get it? I'll go in and take care of it.
So what do
have
you
to
do
fight it?
exactly?
What do we do? Do we just knock it out?
There's no head to knock out.
Do you open the door? What do you do when you say you go in and deal with it? That's a little vague. I'm going to ask you for a bit
Also,
of precision.
before Ota goes in, Koto reserve on him.
Thank you. Well, I don't know what's in there, so I can't tell you what I do when I get in there.
No, I'm saying, how do you go in there specifically? Like, you open the door, you walk in?
Force
I mean,
push.
that was kind of my intent, but
Force
be ready to
push.
close the door behind me as quick as possible.
Who has to close the door behind you? You said Kodev?
Everybody else on the outside.
Okay. I'm gonna need two things, first of all. I need a strength check from you, and then I need a dex check from Mibble and Kodev.
Oh, what was my check?
If you can give me a strength one, please.
A strength check?
And-
Okay.
Dex from me.
Long story short, yeah, if the two of you guys want to do a dex one, or to here, I'll even allow athletics if you get a bonus from specialization on that.
Yeah. And then
What
because
is
I
it
know
we're
I'm doing
trying
this,
to do?
you guys, I'm going in. You guys are closing the door behind me the moment that I go in. Like the second I go in. Because I know I'm doing this, I'm going to give myself guidance.
So a flat dex, right?
Yes, Dex check. So it's just the Dex bonus.
I got that Kraken +2.
Nice.
Okay, Orto, what was the roll?
I got a 22 on the athletics.
Very nice, and Kodev.
I got 19 on my Dex.
Okay, so Orta, you managed to open the door, the latch, right, to the meat freezer, this giant freezer, and open the heavy door just a little bit. When you feel the thump of the charge of whatever is inside, thankfully you're able to hold the door so it doesn't blow open, releasing whatever's contained inside. As for the rest of you, Orta just runs in, and then as soon as he does, conformed with his instructions, the two of you slam the door shut and latch it closed behind him.
Good luck in there.
Yeah, and then through the discard call, I tell Nixie, keep the others safe. And yeah, I'm in the meat locker now.
You're in the meat closet, bro. All right, so
not the fun kind.
Right. So, here's the deal. I'm going to need... Actually, you know what? I'm going to pull one out of Rosian's bag here. I'm going to need y'all to mute and deafen for... Give me 5 minutes real quick.
Oh, jeez.
It won't be long. This is not going to be super dramatic and long. I just need my good friend Orda to make a couple of rolls and see if a couple of things happen or don't happen, and then we'll deal with the rest after that. Okay, Orta, my good friend, you get in there. You see what's left of the dead body animated, moving almost as if puppeteered. And when you come in, you hear this deathly, almost grave-like voice rising around you, as you do recognize the voice from the one that you've previously severed from this body. But there's no mouth, there's no head, and there's no throat to vocalize that voice. You're hearing it directly through the Force in your very soul, as whatever this entity is, it has the capacity, through its sheer connection to the Force, to just move its now decapitated body. And you simply hear, "Ah, my would-be jailer. Well, well, we meet again.
Indeed.
I guess it's time for another little game, is it not?"
Well, I certainly don't feel comfortable having you roaming around.
Oh, but I get the feeling we'll get very, very comfortable with each other very soon. As he lets out what I could only describe here as this screech, this high-pitched screech. You know what the best way to describe it is? Palpatine's screech after he said, "I am the Senate." This treason then. And then that screech he did when he jumped at the Jedi. It's that kind of a screech.
Okay.
And this is what happens. Give me a minute, I will tell you. I will need you to do me, please, a Constitution saving throw.
Okay. Constitution saving throw. Okay. Nat 20 for 29.
Nice. You feel that wave of energy blow through you here. You will nonetheless take 10. No, sorry, I forgot a couple of numbers here. 10 plus 12 and a 1, that is 23. You'll take 23. Nope, that's halved. So rounded down, that is 11. Sorry. 11 psychic damage.
11 psychic damage, okay.
And then you will be also taking, same thing actually, funny enough, 10, in this case, sonic damage as well.
Okay.
For those of you who are outside the meat locker, I need you to roll me the same, but with
They're
advantage.
still deafened.
Oh, well, I'll have them roll that after. Actually, you know what? I'll undeafen them for this bit.
Get your scrolling.
Undeafen, please. Undeafen, please. Undeafen, please. are not undeafening. There we go. One undeafened person. Azrin, undeafen.
Yo.
There we go. Okay, he's back. Awesome. So, you guys, what you hear inside this place is you hear like some mumbling, and then after a bit, I need both of you to roll me some Constitution saving throws with advantage, please.
Well, am I glad I have that for my saving throw?
Yeah, not great. 13.
Okay.
22.
Okay, Mibble, you're fine. You're gonna take 11 psychic damage, and you're gonna take 10 sonic damage. Azrin, Kodav is going to be taking 23 psychic damage
Jesus.
and 21 sonic damage.
23 and 21?
Yeah.
Holy
44
shit.
total.
And you will be deafened, blinded, and prone. As you feel with your force sensitivity this explosion of psychic energy from inside the meat locker.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. I am like in not good shape.
I will ask this of you, Hobo, now. You will give me 3 wisdom saving throws, please.
3 wisdom saves. Okay.
Please and thank you. Okay.
First one is a 24.
Okay. You win that one.
Second one's a 12.
Okay, you lose that one. Give me the third one.
Third one is an 11.
Unfortunate. Okay. I will type you what happened. Everybody else is
Actually,
out.
wait a minute.
Yeah.
Let me check something. I got a dice. I got a guaranteed successful roll a long time ago at the start, and
Okay.
I'm just trying to remember if I used it.
Ah, yes. True.
It's like from when we very first started the game.
Mm-hmm.
That's not right. That's not the right page. Yeah, no, I don't. If I had it, I would have deleted it when I used it. I'm not seeing it anymore, so I'm going to assume that I don't have it anymore.
Okay. So yeah, something will happen. I will DM you about that just because it'll save us on time, and I don't want to mute everybody else for too long. Everybody else, I need you both to do me a huge favor here. Tell me, after this blast of psychic and sonic energy comes from the meat locker, what do you both do?
I look towards Nixie and see what her reaction is if Ota's okay in there.
Yeah, I'm prone on the floor. I'm like,
Eh.
I'm like hurt badly.
Mibble, does that affect what you do besides looking at Nixie? I'll describe what Nixie's doing in a second, but is there like an actual action you want to take?
Let's see.
We're not in combat per se, but you know.
Mm-hmm. You know what? I am gonna slowly release med pack on myself and heal Kodev real quick.
Mm-hmm.
That's 2d6. And that's gonna be 7 hit points.
Okay. So it's 7 HP back to you, Kodav. You can see that Kodav's like holding his head, by the way, in his hands, and his look is not focused, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I'm looking over at Nixie and seeing what her reaction is.
She's bristling and she's almost like screeching a little bit, like a low, like insectoid hissing sound, for lack of better terminology. I can't really do it because I lack the mandibles, but you know, it's the good old like kind of sound. You know, I can't really do it, but like angry cricket sounds almost. You know.
Mm-hmm. Hey, Nixie, if he's okay in there still, nod your head.
She kind of tilts her head to the side.
You don't know?
She looks at you, and there's no real motion right now as far as her body goes. She kind of just looks at you, cocks her head to the side, and the screeching stops. As she seems to visibly relax.
Okay, that's a good sign. I call through the door of the meat locker. Ota, you're right in there? I guess I get no answer.
Yeah, well, I mean, no, because he doesn't speak verbally, and for some reason you're not getting any telepathic messages. No.
Duh. Kodev, what are we gonna do?
Well, I gotta heal myself. I don't know what the hell just happened.
Mm-hmm.
And alright, so I'm gonna do a 4th level heal on myself. Let's go.
Is there a window on the meat locker door that Mibble can peek through?
Solid steel door, Durasteel door to be exact. Clearly, someone had wanted to protect their meat.
I look to the canteen owner and ask, "Is there a camera in there that we can see through?"
Why would there be a camera in the meat
Hey,
locker?
you never know. Mibble does not want to open the door if there's something bad in there.
So I get 29 hit points back. Oh.
You feeling better?
Yeah, what the hell was that?
Don't know. I'm not getting any messages from Ota, and I am not sure of his condition.
I'm gonna ignite my lightsaber, and I'm like, get ready, Nibble.
All right, and I will also cast Koto Reserve on Kodev.
Understandably, at this point.
Yeah, I'm gonna open up the door.
And when you open up the door, you see Orta standing there, seemingly unharmed, with the body completely crumpled and immobile at his feet. By crumpled, I mean like puppets with the strings cut off, crumpled, not like smushed or pancaked or blendered, but you know what I mean.
Orta, you okay?
Whatever that shockwave was rattled me. Head feels full, but other than that, I'm fine.
Buddy, don't scare us like that.
Was not my intent. Apologies.
So, didn't you cut the head off of that thing before? How the heck was it able to, you know?
It was the final hurrah of a very powerful Force Master. Regardless if he was a Sith, his power is undeniable.
Is it still around?
Not out here.
Is he backing your sword? Or lightsaber?
Yes.
Can you get
He's
rid of
such
him?
a pain in the...
Well, the last time I tried to get rid of him, he just inhabited another body, so safest place would be to keep him where he is now.
Alright. Well, whatever happened in there, until the I think it's until the end of your long or short rest. Kodev at least does still have Koto Reserve. I'm not sure if it came in handy for Ota.
I was able to withstand the blast well enough, but without that, I would felt very much in danger. I appreciate you as always, Mibble.
Yeah, no problem. Just don't make me lose all my fur.
Indeed, I won't.
So this thing is safe to keep here now?
Well, the soul certainly won't inhabit it anymore.
And how can you be sure? Because you cut the head off of that thing once before.
Out of character, do we know that you can see the two souls floating around the lightsaber?
Lightsaber's sheathed right now, but
as you're thinking about that, Kodev, you just hear from your backpack a voice saying, "My old friend."
Oh no!
Is it audible?
Perception check.
But Nibble will go on. How can you be so sure? You cut the head off of that thing, and he still managed to take over it. With this body here, we can't be sure he won't try to take it over again.
Well, I think it's up to Kodav to give you permission to destroy the body, then.
It's too important to science. We're not destroying that body. I would sooner chuck that soul into a black hole than destroy that body.
And as you say that, you could see Nixie, who was about to step into the meat. You know, Nixie, who was about to step into the meat,
like
the meat freezer, kind of just like slowly back out, and you can swear that you saw like a look of disappointment on her multifaceted eyes and insectoid features.
Like 800 refracted eyes doing a frown.
Just a tiny little tear at the corner of each facet, you know what I mean?
Yep.
Like,
Anyway, slow release med pack on Ota because I don't know what his health is like.
mhm.
Come back here.
I assure you, from what I'm seeing of Kodav right now, he may be in more need for it.
I'm not as injured as I was when the blast went off, so
That was going to be another 7 points to whoever needs it then.
I'm still pretty good on health.
Speaking of my old friend from the backpack there, what was the perception check?
Oh, I was kidding. I wasn't sure if it was actually
Oh,
audible.
no, my old friend was clearly said muffled from the backpack.
That's an 18.
Yeah, you're not quite able to make out the words, but you heard some words from the backpack, and there seemed to be a bit of light shining from the lid. It looks red.
What was that?
just a faulty communicator. That blast hit me kind of hard. I probably fell on it.
Deception versus insight.
Okay.
It's gonna be a 19 deception from me.
Actually, you know what? Two things. As you can roll it again and keep the higher one of the two and DM it to me, or to DM me what you got. Let's do this blind, and I'll tell you guys what happens. As roll again and keep the highest of the two, if you don't mind. Oh, there we go. You're DMing me. Perfect. Awesome. Okay. So you can do as you see fit with that information, Orta. I don't know if you can hear me. Is my internet
I
bugging
do.
out?
I do hear you. I hear you. I'm just
I
thinking.
just didn't know if my internet was
Yeah,
having
yeah.
a moment.
Nah, I get you. Orta will sort of telepathically say to Kodav directly, how to put it?
So you're type beaming. You're talking just to him right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I basically just how do I put these words? I'll basically say, or I'll basically say, if you ever feel safe enough to share with me, I will be there to listen. But if that is not the case, that is fine.
His telepathy is only one way, correct?
Yes.
We have to respond verbally.
Telepathy, can communicate with, you must share language with them in order to communicate. No, it just says you can communicate telepathically with creatures within 30 feet of you. I don't necessarily know if that means only one way.
I mean, if they think really, really strong, you could probably read their minds for it. So
Yeah.
it would be technically two-way. It's just two-way because you are both an emitter and a receptor, not because they suddenly gain the power to telepathically talk.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna nod my head. And
Alright.
and I'm gonna nod my head and just aggressively drop my backpack and adjust my clothes.
There's a buff with as the backpack hits the ground,
Shut the fuck up.
and then the light just dims out. As to why you're speaking to your backpack, I mean, only the Force knows, right?
Listen, I talk to myself all the time. It's okay.
Right?
Sorry, we talk to ourselves.
Yeah, Kodev does not fear, Orta or the console. Kodev fears his aunt, and the last thing he needs is his aunt knowing he has like some Sith relic hanging around him that he's actively communicating with. Like that is horror beyond horror for him.
Yeah, that's an ass whipping for the ages, guaranteed on that one.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. So following these quite we won't say adrenaline pumping moments here, but at the very least, that shade that odd situation, I guess is the best way to describe it. My question to you as now it's probably been a good, after everything happened and whatnot, it's probably been a good hour or two into the morning. What's your next step, fellow adventurers?
Take a little bit of a sit down, eat some breakfast.
Yeah, Mibble is still like, how do we know he's not going to be taking that body again?
We'll have to take precautions when we get back from meeting up with Only, hopefully.
I would also guess. Go ahead.
Well, like I said, whatever that shockwave was felt like a final hurrah, and well, he's sealed wherever he's sealed in his prison now, and I feel like that took a lot of power out of him.
Yeah, but once he regains, what's stopping him?
That's something we can worry about then.
I also take it that Kodev is probably going to try to rearrange the body back.
Yeah, I'm just going to put it back, up on a meat hook and, stick the head on the shelf. Make sure it's not too severely damaged. It's already old and decapitated.
And also missing a foot because Nixie tried to eat it.
I know. I just need to get this thing to a Jedi medical facility. That's the only thing in my head right now.
Right. So, where are y'all going?
We can go to that place.
Make sure we have enough rations and head to the edge of town.
Okay, very good. Yeah, you definitely have enough food in the cantina kitchens to properly equip yourselves in food and drinks and water and whatnot for the journey to the city outskirts where the metal door is situated.
As we are about to leave, I assume we're probably going to come back here eventually. At some point, in theory, but if we don't, I'm going to sort of turn to the bar, to the owner of the establishment, basically send him 1,000 credits of my own and be like, I apologize for the damage that was caused, and I hope that you were able to stay safe from here on out.
Very good.
Well, we're going to have to return because Kodev isn't going to leave that body, but...
Yeah. Yeah, I let him know. I let him know the body should be safe now.
Just don't try to cook it.
Yeah. Please don't feed the Sith, ancient to anybody in the bar. I don't know what'll happen.
Probably killer jerky.
You guys come back. There's a horde of force-sensitive zombies in the cantina. No.
Snack with rooms. Man, we're really leaning into this B-list zombie movie theme, aren't we?
Look, I don't know what it is, but every session there's a theme that comes out. It looks like this is it. Oh yeah. Oh, I'm crying. Y'all are killing me. Okay, so that being said, my further question to you all: where are we going from here?
I
We're gonna
say
have to
we
go
go
to the
straight. I
outskirts
say we go
to-
straight there.
All right.
Yeah.
I need you all to give me, whoever wants to do it, gives me a survival, and whoever wants to do it gives me a stealth roll.
I'll do stealth.
I'll
Um,
give.
I can do survival if no one can beat an 8.
Oh yeah, no, I cannot do survival. I'll give
I got
guidance
a-
to. Well, since you already rolled that, I'm gonna give guidance to Kodev.
And give me your active perception, Orta.
My perception, like a perception roll.
Yeah.
Or
Active, not passive. Yeah.
I got a dirty 20 for my
Nice.
stealth.
I got a nat 20 for a 26.
Nice.
I got 23 for my survival.
Is that with Orta's whatever?
Guidance.
Oh no, that's without guidance. Hold on.
It's D6.
Okay.
I only rolled a 1, so one more.
24.
24.
Still
Very
pretty good.
nice. So funny enough, thankfully, thanks to this, you guys managed to make it all the way to the city outskirts without falling for any traps, without walking on any booby traps, without encountering you-know-who, without having any sort of issue with ambushes. It's almost like you know where the bounty hunters are going to be before they even show up, and you manage
They've
to...
been chasing us so far, so many times.
Yeah, it's almost like they've become like predictable or something, because you guys managed to make it to those outskirts safely, and in front of you, in the side of the dune where you left it, stands this big reinforced metal door. And unlike the last time when you saw it, where it was, almost welded shut by Onley's mother's lightsaber, it is now wide open.
Oh.
I don't like the looks of this.
I don't like the looks of this as either.
Indeed.
I would
Star
like
Wars
to
chat.
use. Let's see. I would like to activate. Okay. So I want to invoke a 3rd level sense force.
Okay.
So that increases my range to 60 feet.
Mm-hmm.
And basically for the duration, so it's up to 10 minutes. I have to concentrate. I can sense any use of the force or its presence in an inanimate object within 60 feet of me, because I increase the range. If I sense force in this way, I can use my action to determine the direction and where it originates.
Mm-hmm.
If it's in my line of sight, if I sense a faint aura, if I sense a faint aura, it'll tell me exactly where it is as well.
Okay.
So I'm basically like, I'm like doing force sonar right now.
So, funny enough, that works for objects. When you do that, you get several pings, actually.
Okay, I know for sure of one.
Yes, one does come from less than a meter behind you, as it is probably in your backpack. Another one seems to be pinging off of Orta's hip, where you can see his lightsaber dangling.
Okay. Makes sense. I know about that guy.
Funny enough, there might be something that has some form of a force aura coming from Mibble's backpack. And there's one more ping, but it's diffuse and it's underground, and you're not really capable of telling more about it because it probably exceeds the range of your current sonar ping.
Gotcha. Well, there's definitely something emitting the force below us. Be careful.
It's just far and deep.
What is in my backpack that could be?
Like, and then Kodav looks over to Mibble and is like, "You're not force sensitive, are you, Mibble?"
No. Why?
I just feel a presence of the force around you.
What do you think might have be doing that?
Well, I can specifically sense objects imbued with the force. So, I mean, you didn't pick up pieces of an old lightsaber or something like that?
Well, I still do have those kyber crystals, but I guess would those do it?
Can I see it?
I take out the orange kyber crystal that is mine, and the one that Davi had that was light blue for her, representing her sister.
Mm-hmm.
And are these the reactions I was feeling?
Correct.
Ah. Well, whoever processed these kyber crystals
We got them from that cave. Wait, you probably weren't even there.
Well, they're strong in the force, I can tell you that. You can probably make some pretty decent lightsabers with them.
I have another use for the orange one, but this light blue one is being saved for somebody.
Well, I hope they put it to good use.
As do I.
Okay.
And then
I put the kyber crystals back.
Shall we go?
That is the $1 million question. Shall you? Sorry, the million credit question. My apologies.
Lightsabers are in hands.
Yeah. Also, you got to adjust for inflation. It's probably like 1,400,000 credit question.
Don't even get me started on the exchange rate. All right, so that being said, you're faced with with this door that's been blown open, and actually, Mibble, you can tell this just off of the bonus on your science roll, so I'm not even going to make you roll the d20 for it. But you can see that there's still a slight red hue to the metal around the edges of the hole, and you can tell that it's basically just fairly recently heated enough to punch a hole through it.
Yeah, this was done pretty recently. I think Anli and her mother may be already here.
That would make sense. They did get quite a head start on us.
Yeah, that is correct. So, my question to you all now is, that being said, do you enter? Is there anything else you guys want to do before entering?
No, I'm just, concentrating on my sense force for the 10 minutes. And
just
hope it
in case,
leads us.
Koto reserve on myself.
Yeah, because that lasts for 8 hours, right?
Until a long or short rest.
Okay. I'm
You
in
two
sort of
already have yours still.
I'm taking the lead. I don't have my lightsaber drawn, but I do have my hand on the ready for it, and the other hand ready to sort of punch things.
Okay.
And I'm just keeping an eye out, making sure that nothing jumps us, making sure that there is no you forgot to turn the doorknob when you opened the door situation, that type of thing.
Right. So, there is no like you forgot to turn the lights or whatever, but yeah, if you guys go in, you get to that elevator, brings you back down to that place where you guys all fought. I don't know if you remember with the Rancors and everything. And when there's still, while there's still like claw marks and stuff like that, right, from the battle, there's no bodies in here. And actually, funny enough, there's no one here.
This doesn't feel right.
It's eerily quiet. And as you say that, oh, go ahead.
Mibble is in the back.
Yes. As you say, it's something's not right. You hear a scream. It's an angry scream.
Is it an Only scream?
Most probably, because it is angry.
Feels
I guess-
judgmental.
Yeah, I mean, I'm
Yeah,
gonna
running towards the
presume-
other
I'm
screen.
I'm presume it's like Only raging, so I'm gonna head in that direction.
You head in that direction as fast as you can. And as you turn the corner, you see another airlock. It is open, and past the airlock, you see a scene that feels, I don't want to say most gruesome, but somewhat gruesome at the very least, because there's a good 6 of those Trandoshan slavers that are standing there, bulging reptilian eyes and scale skin, holding and trained on 2 people that are floating a few centimeters above the ground. As you see a disarmed Only and what seems to be an unconscious or dead mother of hers, just kind of floating, like I said, a few inches above the ground, and not far from it, how do I even describe this? You see what looks like, once again, a fairly bulky big droid. And it's got a hand extended in front of it. And as it turns, the 2 bodies kind of, well, not bodies, because Only's not dead, obviously, but the 2 captured, for lack of better terminology, Togrutas, kind of just float and rotate along with it, as it seems to go deeper towards the inside of that airlock.
Oh, is it initiative? Because I'm giving chase.
Yeah, I'm blitzing as fast as possible.
Okay. As you guys blitz to give chase, there was a small, and this is practically invisible to the naked eye, which unfortunately beats the passive perceptions. As you guys ran through, you guys walked past a laser tripwire, and
Damn, I have an
That-
18 passive.
sorry,
I have an 18 passive. I still didn't
yes,
see it.
it's invisible. Lasers are not visible. You would have had to make a perception check for a tiny little hole on the
Yeah.
side of the wall. You understand what I'm saying? Which is why I put it at 20. Just to give you a reference, if you, the player, had said, you know what, there might have been a trap, I will actually have my character double check and roll the perception check to double check before charging in. But understandably, your friend is being held captive and you want to run after them, you know what I mean? So you run past that laser tripwire and you hear a hissing sound as the airlock just shuts closed with blast doors. And a turret comes down from the ceiling, training onto you guys.
Scatter!
Mibble, give me your tech roll real quick. You guys are in the hallway. There is no scattering. Mibble, can you give me your tech roll real quick?
That is going to be a 21.
You're able to tell that this
No, wait, 25. Sorry, I misread that.
You were able to tell that this particular turret, for lack of a better term here, one second, I'm just trying to get it done here with something that'll be not too strong. There we go. You guys, Mibble, you recognize this thing. This is a turret that is not, it's not meant originally to be aggressive. Somebody messed with the wiring or whatever to get it to target, live creatures, but originally this thing was designed to help put out fires. It's a cryo turret that's designed to snuff out with cryogenic gas and CO2, snuff out fires in case of rampant fire hazards.
It's a freeze gun.
And then whoever basically programmed this thing most probably programmed it to track heat, regardless of the shape or the form that it takes. So it thinks you guys, being hot-blooded creatures, are basically... It thinks you guys are basically a fire.
Well,
What
if
do
it's
you
tracking
want?
fires.
It's tracking heat. Somebody fucked with its part of my language
Yes,
targeting programming.
yes. As I was saying, if it's tracking fires, then I need to give it a big enough heat source that I'm the biggest target. So as I'm running forward, I'll draw my lightsaber.
Okay.
If
Again,
Mibble shared all that.
Yep. Well, how that's still quite a bit of info. So I mean, freeze gun would probably be what Mibble would have said. Unless Mibble, you want to spend your action actually explaining this stuff to them within 6 seconds, give or take, right?
It's a heat-seeking freeze gun.
Perfect. Good enough.
Yeah.
Excellent.
With having heard heat-seeking freeze gun, I will be a heat source.
Okay.
And we are pulling out our lightsaber and basically getting away from the others so that they don't get freeze gunned.
So, as you do that, funny enough, Nixie runs forward. And something weird happens. The turret's targeting light, which was, red as in the sense that target acquired thing, suddenly goes green and shifts back up into the ceiling as Nixie stands in front of you guys, spreading her wings, her four limbs, and her entire body as much as she can in front of you guys.
You're cold-blooded?
Does she not register as a heat source?
I mean, she is insectoid.
Yeah. Their blood doesn't flow the same way as ours. Yeah, because they're what? They're exothermic, right? Or am I remembering that right?
I'm pretty sure they're endothermic.
Endothermic, yeah.
Behind her.
Yeah. I'll put away my lightsaber and once we get to...
Are the doors still closed?
No, sorry. Ectothermic. Endothermic is you generate your own heat internally. Ectothermic is you're dependent on external.
Yeah.
On external heat. So no, ectothermic. Sorry, they are ectothermic. Correct. Not exothermic. Ectothermic. Okay. So yes, she is dependent on her environment to heat, and not so much.
Yeah. And I'll sort of say to Nixie, my thanks, Nixie, as the blast doors closed alongside that turret coming down, correct?
Yep. Then in your head you do hear, "We are happy. We did not wish harm to come to us."
and then I will. Well, I know I'm gonna start trying to cut the door open, basically.
Okay. With your lightsaber?
Mhm.
Yeah, you shove your lightsaber into it. It barely scratches the metal before your lightsaber turns off. It just fizzles and shuts off.
Mibble will need your expertise.
Any command consoles?
Nope, none visible.
Okay. I searched around to see if there's any way of accessing this thing.
Doesn't seem to be the case, and funny enough, like there's something weird about the metal this is made out of.
What kind of metal is it?
I don't know. Give me a science roll.
You mean tech?
Sorry, Tex. Yes.
My plus 13. And that's going to be that's a 31.
Okay. Looking at this door, you realize a few things. This door, along with the walls around it, seems to be made of cortosis. Cortosis, yes, thank you. Cortosis is a metal, which, you know, funny enough, in modern Earth language, looking at it, it looks a lot like iron. It has that rusty red color almost, until properly refined and whatnot. But cortosis has this funky property where it is extremely energy resistant and capable of dissipating energy.
This is an anti-energy door.
In a way.
Well, any insight on how to either take away the energy to the point that it shatters or give it so much energy that explodes?
Mibble, when he asks that, long story short, getting through that door would require, like, considering the size of it and everything and how it will disperse the energy equally amongst however much of the structure is made of that cortosis or cortosis laced metal, you realize that getting through that door in any way that is quote unquote energy based is barely feasible. You'd probably need a turbo laser that is bigger than the hallway to get through that door.
Yeah, that's not happening. We need another way of getting through this thing.
The best way to get through something like that actually would be through some form of physical means. Long story short, you're probably going to have a better chance getting through this with a drill than you would, you know, some form of drill than you would using your lightsabers, blaster pistols, or any other energy-based weaponry.
Energy-based weapon.
Correct.
So.
Oh, other fun little tidbit. As I'm drawing a blank, 1 second here. There we go. Kodev. Sorry, I'm tired. Kodev. Other fun little tidbit. You cannot feel anything in the Force past that door. I don't know if you can hear me.
We hear you loud and clear. At least I do.
Yeah.
Same.
Is Kodev alive?
I'm sorry?
Oh, I was saying, yeah, that door, you do not feel anything past it. Like your sonar's bouncing off of that thing.
Oh, it's blocking my force awareness.
Correct.
I don't have anything physical to deal with this door. What do we do, Nibble?
Mabel, give me an insight check. Or a lore check.
Inside or lore?
Mm.
My lore's better. That's going to be a dirty 20.
Perfect. Now give me another tech roll, please.
That is going to be 27.
You remember that there's quite a few junkyards on Tatooine, and while you might not have, right now anyway, a direct way of going through that door, you might be able to fabricate one
Oh, yeah.
in one way, shape, or form.
Hey, if we get to a junkyard, we can come back and I can have something made up to get through this thing.
Well, certainly better than the idea I had. I was going to slam my shoulder into it alongside Nixie.
I mean, you can if you want, but, that's a blast door.
I'm good with building a drill.
Okay.
I do have one question.
Mm-hmm.
Does fire count as energy? Just like pure fire.
I don't know. Try it out. I mean, it's thermal. It's thermal energy, but as far as the system, it is a different type of damage from energy. So try it out if you want it.
Before I do, I tell Nixie, make sure that turret stays where it is.
Oh, the turret's back in the ceiling. As long as you guys don't walk back and
in
forth.
that ceiling.
As long as you guys don't walk back and forth in front of that laser, you should be okay. Again, like I said, this has been repurposed from its original purpose. It's a trap. It's it's not a constantly active thing as you guys have managed to send it back up in the ceiling.
I tell everybody, stand back at least 30 feet or so. And I aim at that door.
Okay.
Immobilate.
All right, can we get Nixie to back up so we can hide behind her?
Turret's back in the ceiling. You're fine. Like I said, that's not a problem anymore. Yeah.
Still gonna back up a bit so we're not near an immolation. But yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I would guess that it would fail a dex save.
Let me put it to you this way. I'm gonna roll a d20 to see if the door manages to dodge out of the way of the fire. I got good news for you. No, it doesn't. All right, so. God damn it. No, it's a stationary object. It hits. Roll the damage and see what happens.
Okay. 8d6.
Imagine it's like, for some reason the door just like a limbo bends out of the way and then just deforms back into place.
$25 damage.
Okay. Wherever you've concentrated that immolation, that gout of fire that you applied upon the door, you see that section of the door glow red, but you don't see any metal drip or fall or whatever. You heated it up, yeah, but chances are it'll need a little bit more than just that for you to go through it.
All right.
The perfect bomb is right here.
I might not have enough power to do that, but it is something that we could take into consideration. So, I have an idea, and we're going to head to the junkyard real quick. The closest one.
Mm-hmm.
And I am going to look for something that can make a fire drill.
Okay. So something that as it's drilling will heat.
Yep.
Okay, you get to the closest and biggest junkyard, and as you get there, you hear a voice. And that voice says, "What are y'all doing in my junkyard?"
Just need a few parts.
And as you hear that voice and you answer, "Oh, just need a few parts," we're going to go on break real quick. And we shall be back in about 5 to 10 minutes after we refill water, use the bathroom, and otherwise
Whatever.
plot the death and the destruction of the entire party.
Hey.
Rude.
I would never do that. But I didn't say that out loud, did I? Alrighty, break time. Okie dokie. We are back with Ready Track. Okay. So, break time's over, guys. We are back at it.
Indubitably.
As I said, you heard a voice asking you what you were doing in their junkyard.
Just need some parts, and then we'll be out of your hair.
Hey! This is a business. You don't just walk in and steal my parts.
Until you want to handle that.
Now, what was that?
I said, Utter.
Well, that's common practice for trade of goods for currency. And if you
Yeah.
expect me to compensate him, that is not. I can't do that, as I compensated the owner of the bar before we left.
Well, whatever you do, I want my money. You ain't taking nothing off of this place.
Okay. So
Without paying up
basically,
first.
we need to make something like a fire drill. So,
And
how
what do you mean
much-
by a fire drill? That's very broad.
a drill that heats up and does fire damage.
Sure. How big do you need it?
Something portable. Portable, but big enough to create a hole within a like a solid metal door.
How
Big
big are
enough
we
to
talking
squeeze
about?
through.
How big of a door are we talking about? We're talking like blast doors?
I guess you could say it's like a blast door.
Here, I'll tell you right off the bat. If you want something big enough to punch a hole through a blast door, it ain't gonna be handheld.
So how big do you think we need?
I mean, think about the thickness of a blast door. You need something that can go through that.
Uh-huh.
Again, it's not your portable, plasma torch that's going to get you through that.
Unfortunately, anything energy based isn't going to work.
But you need something that can physically burrow its way through a blast door.
So, yeah.
I mean, I'm sure you could find enough parts around here to make something, but we ain't got nothing like that pre-built. And I'm gonna be
Of course,
honest, the sheer amount of power that you'd need to run one of these, it ain't gonna be cheap.
How much are you thinking?
He kind of looks at you, looks you up and down. I do an insight check. He looks at you and he goes, "More than you can afford, I'll tell you that much. Those babies can come up and be more expensive than a land speeder."
Okay, how about this? Instead of a drill, something that could burn its way through a said door.
Fucking what now?
Burn. Completely fire-based. Sort of like a blowtorch, but able to cut through so we could just make our own entrance.
Yeah, you're talking about a plasma torch, but again, if that thing's energy resistant, you're gonna have a bad day.
That's why I wanted fire-based.
You do understand that plasma is basically just something that's been heated so high that it's become fire that's contained within a magnetic field, right? This is
Yeah, but-
this is in character. He's saying that to Mibble, by the way. I know you out of character don't know that. This is just an in character thing, but yes.
So what do you recommend that would be somewhat easy to carry and get through a said door without it being energy based?
You know what? Let's get you a mining or a fracking drill, something that people use to get through giant walls of ore. I mean, metals and ore, it's slightly harder, but I mean, something diamond tipped or whatever that'll be able to just power right through the whole thing. Only problem with that, you're going to need to mount it on some repulsors and give it an energy source strong enough that it'll be able to go through that thing without blowing its engine. TLDR out of character, you're basically building a forklift with a drill at the front. Just Star Wars equivalent.
Okay, and how much would something like that be?
I don't know, you got money?
What's your price?
Not credits, I'll tell you that much. Those are useless around here.
Then what
But no,
is it?
this is not a Toydarian saying this, by the way. Just so we're clear, this is not Watto's great-grandfather. Actually, funny enough, if you want to know what this thing is, it's an Ugnaught.
Well then, how about a damaged ship that may have some radiation damage to it?
What?
It's a ship we no longer can use, so if you want it, it's yours for exchange.
You're really bad at this business thing, aren't you?
Look, I'm just trying to make something so we can get to somewhere.
All right. You know what? I'll make it simpler. As you can see, us Ugnaughts, we're not exactly tall, strapping, or muscular, or bulky, or any of that stuff. We're not exactly the biggest, creatures on the block here, but there is a few ways where you could either make the money, or, provided you're willing to risk your lives, I'd be willing to, keep the prize and have you guys get the parts bonanza you require in exchange.
And what is it that you need?
I just need to... And she kind of looks at you and tilts her head. You're kind of small. I don't know if you'll manage, but, maybe you will. I just need more names
More what?
in the race. I need more names in the race for me.
What do you mean?
She grins at you all and she says, well, this is Tatooine.
Mm-hmm.
Have y'all heard of pod racing?
In character, no. Out of character, yes.
Wait, what does anything have to do with pod racing?
Well, it happens here.
Yes. So,
Every maybe... I'm going to be honest with you, I don't know out of character how frequently it is run. I know it is run fairly frequently, I just don't remember how frequently.
and I've heard it's grossly illegal and filled with people who do the nasty list of things.
Oh, it's illegal. About 30% of the people who participate in the race make it out alive, but, whoever wins gets glory, fame, and a hell of a lot of local currency.
That's so.
Yep.
What do you want us to do?
Simple. I have a scrapyard. Build some pod racers, win some races, make some real money. And then I'll give you what you need to make that drill. Of course, I'll keep the money, the prize money from the races, yes?
Nipple, we have a time-sensitive issue to deal with.
Yeah, I'm aware of that. Do you have any better ideas?
She looks at you and says, oh, and the race is in 3 days. I wouldn't waste time if you do want to participate.
Does this guy seem to have bodyguards? or is he like by himself? What's his deal? Does he look? Does he look like a pushover? Does he have? Looks like the kind of guy who would have a gun underneath the table.
You know what? I'll let you know. I'll show you here, actually. Ugnaught. There we go. Here. I will send you a quick message, but they are basically think hobbit-sized orcs.
Oh, so they're Nixie snack size.
They are definitely Nixie snack sized, yes. The problem is they're a lot more belligerent and well armed than our little friends that were dealt with earlier. Here you go. I just sent you guys a quick little. There you go.
I don't know if the intent was to DM it to me, but I'm not. But unless you're DMing it to everybody, or
I did send it to everybody.
okay, I had to be sure.
And they're known to. They're a little bit like Jawas. They're known to basically be very good with robots and taking robots apart. And their native habitat is desert wastelands.
Yeah, we don't have time for this nonsense. I have a friend
You
who's
got a
been
better idea?
captured. Yeah, we have a friend who's been captured. Let's find someone else. Or we can just feed him to Nixie.
We relish the idea of a snack. Actually, we relish the idea of many snacks.
We relish the idea of relish.
We relish the idea of relish, indeed.
It's like
Kidra, I can hear your chip
Yeah,
bag
no, I'm
like,
putting
right
it
through your
away.
microphone.
Like we're not waiting 3 days to save Anli. Those lizard people are doing God knows what to her and her mother is already unconscious. So yeah, 3 days that's not happening. She can be dissected, sold for parts, and be God knows where by the time 3 days are over. So yeah, that's not happening.
I'm of the same mind. Perhaps we could figure out something else. Perhaps we build you the pod racers, you find racers for them. Sort of call it a down payment, and then
We still don't have time for that.
I acknowledge that we don't have a lot of time, but this gentleman is not going to let us just
Is he the
abscond
only
with
one
our
we can,
goods.
and he's the only one he can deal with?
Are there any other junkyards that would be that are close by? Are there any junkyards that are close by that we can go to?
I don't know.
I mean, you could probably find a few others. That's Tatooine for you. But if you're talking about large junkyards that are close to the city that you're currently in, that's pretty much the biggest one.
This is our best shot.
Yeah, and then what happens to Anli in 3 days, Cody?
I'm not saying that we do the race. I'm saying that we build the pod racers as a down payment.
Nipple, how long is it for
To
the pod racer?
How about this? You let me build what I need for my friends here. They can take it off, and then I'll stay and make your pod racer things. Tilt.
Sorry, I got a message and I got distracted. How long it would take you to build a pod racer, yeah?
Well, Mibble said, can he build the thing he needs first, give it to his friends, and he'll stay and build the pod racers for him?
Give me a roll for that. Give me
What
a
kind of
sec
roll?
here. I'll tell you. Sorry, my thing is lagging a little bit, so let me just roll over. Come on. Sometime today, please. Sorry, Roll20 is doing the old Roll20 thing where it takes 14 hours to open something. Give me a sec. Open the character sheet. You can do it, Roll20. Flashbang me and open the character sheet. Let's go. There we go. Okay, Mabel, give me... Yeah, there's no such thing for, like, bargaining or whatever here. I guess give me a persuasion check.
We'll give guidance.
So that's a +6, right?
D6.
Plus 1d6.
Yeah.
The 6 would be wild.
Right.
And I got a 6.
Of course.
The 6
So-
is wild.
So all
Right.
together, that's going to be a dirty 20.
They look at you, and they cock their head to the side, and they say, "No deal." But I can see that this is time sensitive, so we'll make it different. And she points at all of you and she says, as long as you all can put me at least one pod racer together, and you can work on that at the same time as the drill, and one of you races, I'll let you all take the drill and do what you gotta do with it after. But I'll save you of having to build a bunch of pod racers.
We'll
One
do
pod
Not
the-
in
racer.
the 3 days.
One pod racer for a drill.
One pod
Okay.
racer for a drill. Can we take the drill, use it for what we need to before the day of the race? As in today?
She again tilts her head to the side. And stubbornly, as unfortunately that species is fucking stubborn, I hate to say it. And then just stubbornly says, no, the house doesn't do credits. Republican or otherwise. And what I mean by that is, we're talking about Old Republic credits. But also, we're not opening lines of credits for customers. No, you pay up front.
Let's find different scrapyard. I'm not dealing with this.
As you're leaving, she kind of shrugs. And she says, sure, closest one is about 4 days on foot. Good luck making an 8-day round trip when you're time sensitive.
Can I get a GM roll?
Yep. For what?
I need a wisdom saving throw.
From her?
No.
For me.
Oh. I have rolled it. It is a 10.
Yeah, I ignite my lightsaber and put it right to her face.
You put the lightsaber right through her face or right to
No.
her face?
To her
Ew.
face. Like, we don't have time for your bullshit.
Yep.
I'm gonna step sort of in between, like, sort of try to diffuse the situation slightly.
When you
Please
say in between, you mean in between the tip of the lightsaber and the Ugnaughts' nose?
I mean, as close as I can to that, yes.
I don't know how possible that is, considering I think I'm pretty sure he's putting it like right in her face.
Yeah, like that's why I needed you to make the roll for me. It had
Yep.
to be fair.
Yep, no, understandable.
Yeah.
I'll. Kodav, this is not the way this needs to go. And then I turn to the Ugnaught and I say, please understand that there are lives on the line here. I understand that you don't do credits. I will give you the armor off my back, the backpack holding everything that I own. I only need to hold on to one thing. Everything else that is in my possession is yours to take. I do not care. Please.
I'm going to roll something on my end. Give me a minute. Kodav, she looks up at you, and as she says it, you hear the cocking of several blaster pistols as there's a bunch of other Ugnaughts, as they are clanic, that starts popping up here and there from within the scrap.
I can take their head off before they even get a shot off.
And she, what's
I
the
say
word?
that.
Hmm?
I say that. I can take your head off before they even get a shot off.
That's fine. And she pushes a button in her pocket. Like, she puts her hand in her pocket.
Do I have time to react to that?
I mean, it's just a hand going in a pocket.
I don't trust her at all.
I was just saying, it's a hand going in a pocket.
I dropped the lightsaber to put a notch in the desk. Hands out of your pockets.
She pulls her hand out of her pocket. She's holding a remote with a button that's pressed in. And she says, you don't want me to let go of this button.
That's okay. If we can't save our friend, you can die with us. What's the point?
That's my question to you. I run a business.
Yeah. And we're trying to barter with you, and you're being an ass.
I'm already giving you a much better deal than anybody else around would. If you don't like the prices, get it somewhere else.
That's not going to save my friend's life.
Give me another persuasion check here.
Me?
Yes, you.
Okay. You sure you want persuasion?
Yes!
Okay.
For reasons, don't worry.
Okay, it's like, but I'm not feeling very persuasive at the moment.
Not about that.
Not great. I don't have, it's only a 15.
Doesn't matter. Give me a minute. Her features soften a little bit. And she explains, Ugnaughts are clanic.
Ugnaughts are clanic.
And she follows that with Ugnaught understands family. Fine. You guys can build your drill. But 2 of you wear slave collars, and they're not coming off. Until my pod racer's built and my races ran.
I will take the slave collars, both of them.
One on each of 2 of you. Final offer. Or I let go of the button and we all go boom boom. Your pick.
I'll telepathically reach into the Discord call and ask, Nixie, are you alright with wearing one of these collars?
We don't want to.
Mibble sides and says, I might as well take one because I'm the only one who can build these things, apparently.
We don't want our food to wear one. That's a waste of our food. This is to Orta in the Discord call.
I'll take one. And are you sure, Bibble?
No, we don't want to wear one.
Hey, if I'm already building these things for them, I'm stuck here for a while then. But right now, we need the drill.
When Orta says he wants to wear one, by the way, she responds, no, we don't want to wear one.
I want to wear one. I am going to wear one.
We don't want to wear one.
Nixie. I'm wearing one. I am going to do this. I'm going to save Only whatever it takes.
We don't want us to be at the mercy of a psychotic alien. We don't want to wear one.
We just have to do what they say, and then we will be fine. I am going to wear one.
We think that's a bad idea.
I'm fine with that.
She's being oddly stubborn about it, by the way.
I sort of hold a hand out. Well, wherever these slave collars are, I'll take one right now.
She looks up and she says, well, you're an eager one, aren't you?
I have a friend to save, so yes.
She hops up and walks up to you and clicks it around your neck. As you hear the whirring sounds of complex inner mechanisms clicking and joining and connecting together, you hear a small, high-pitched whine as something within it powers up.
Oh dear.
Now, can we get building on our drill?
She says there's one more. Or are you actually taking it?
Yeah.
Okay. She puts it on you, and again, same thing. You hear the complex whirring and everything as it auto-adjusts exactly to the size of your neck. It's not choking either of you out, but it's way too tight for you to pop it over your head.
Mhm.
And she does nod and says, oh, they're timer-based, so make sure you don't go too far too long, or I won't be able to reset them.
And how long until they need resetting?
She smiles and she says, right now, I have it set for 24 hours.
But a
Right.
daily check-in's fine.
Very good.
Okay, so right away, Mebble's gonna get to work on that drill.
I'm
Never
going to
what
help
we
any
need.
way I can.
And as you guys say that, she puts the remote back in her pocket.
I deactivate my lightsaber.
And you could swear you saw almost like a grin on her face when she says, pleasure doing business. After all, what's a good negotiation if there's no threat of death?
Mibble just rolls his eyes and just gets to work.
Yeah,
Right.
in Koda's mind, he's like, I hate this planet. I hate this fucking planet. I hate this fucking planet.
You and literally
It is-
almost
it is-
everybody else who's been on it, let's be real, Tatooine is not a fun or friendly place.
Yeah, he's just like in his like it's like a mantra in his mind right now. And he's like, "What do we need, Nibble? Just point it out, and I'll get it."
Same here.
So, tech roll, I guess?
I'm spamming guidance.
26. Oh, 26 and 28.
Okay.
So 28 for the drill.
So yeah, you start finding some parts to put this thing together, and thankfully, there's old starship engines here. There's all sorts of things. Actually, you even see some parts that have already been salvaged and brought here from the steaming wreckage that was once your ship.
Oh boy.
As this is indeed the nearest, junkyard. And yeah, you're quite confident that you'll have all the parts needed to put this thing together, but even you with your, quasi mythical capacity for putting things together will not be able to do so under a certain speed. It'll take you guys at least, no offense, a good, I'd say at least until the next day, the next morning, provided you're all working on it day in, day out to have it done by the next day. This is still putting together complex machinery in a slightly short amount of time using, repurposed parts. So I'd say maybe by the next morning the drill would have been made.
Even with the 28.
I mean,
the 28 means you found all the parts you needed and you
Yeah.
have the knowledge and the capacity to put the thing together. It doesn't change the fact that you only have 2 arms and there's only 24 hours in a day.
And you're the only real mechanic.
Yeah,
True.
we can do the heavy lifting and move parts into place, but it's up to you to put them together.
Yep.
Yeah.
So there you go.
All right. So get that done by the next day. Have them reset our collars.
Yep.
And then bring that thing right to the what's it called?
The door, the blast door.
Yep.
Making sure not to trip the laser again.
Yeah.
We avoid all the same traps that we avoided last time.
Okay. So you guys put it back together. How do you guys do for working on this thing day in and day out?
Coffee break.
I mean, we'll sleep as
The bare minimum.
sleep as little as possible, and basically, like Orta said, Code Av and Orta, the muscle, we'll hold things up, keep them in place.
Yeah. Provided you guys are moving and doing some of the heavy carrying, using the force, whatever, and doing all that, I'd say that maybe on the first day you'd be able to at least put everything into place. But like I said, the actual building everything is going to be almost like a whole round the clock type gig. So, provided you guys are all burning the oil on both ends, you'll be able to do all that. Sleeping, like you said, the bare minimum, but the problem with that is you will most probably end up having a level of exhaustion by the time morning comes around.
I mean,
That's what coffee's for.
It's Bronley. I mean, that's acceptable.
Hey. Very good. So yeah, you guys put the drill together. And as morning comes, they reset, the 2 slave collars. Nixie, by the way, in your head, Orta, you just hear, can I just eat them all?
No.
I feel like eating them would solve a lot of our problems. As you can see, she seems to be she seems to be a bit more articulate in the way she speaks.
That is not the way to solve problems.
Does it not permanently solve the problem? And it feeds us too. That's 2 Womp Rats with 1 blaster bolt.
I wish I could hear that.
Right?
How to put it?
Or scratching his head, trying to find a way to rationally, break down that argument.
It was easier before.
Right.
And even then, he was having a hard time.
Why?
I'm trying to argue morality with a creature that does not care about morality.
It's not that it doesn't care about morality, it's just that food comes first.
Yeah, morality is
Survival
its
first.
second.
Survival
its second
of the fittest
priority.
is the #1 priority.
Correct. But if you remember the circumstance of its birth, that also makes a lot of sense. Thankfully, funny enough, that also made me think about the salad incident for some reason. All right, moving on. God damn it!
We
Every time I think about that episode, I just think about the salad incident. All right.
we I cannot find the right words to articulate what I'm trying to say here,
Mm-hmm.
but please understand that the thought eating your problems away will not solve them. It will be short-term solutions that will then eventually lead to long-term, bigger problems.
So when you say eating your problems away is not a solution, you just hear, and that it won't, make anything happen beyond, the long, the bring more problems long term. She just answers, and all you hear is, well, it'll do one thing short term. It'll make us fat and strong.
Oh God,
Which will give us more strength to fight the long-term problems in the future. As Nixie has discovered XP grind. No, I'm kidding, but
I mean, that's what it is.
when you realize that binge eating is just literally nature's way of having you grind XP. As a health professional, I do not endorse bad eating habits, by the way, but as a D&D player. We cracked the code, boys.
The irony of the DM being the biggest murder hobo in a game is really funny.
What do you mean the DM is the biggest murder hobo in a game? You're saying that like every DM is not the biggest murder hobo in the game.
Oh yeah, dude. Like the shit I plan for my players in Pathfinder is ridiculous, dude.
Right?
Like,
That's the prerogative of being the DM. You want to be a murder hobo, be the DM. Sorry, Az, keep going. My bad.
No, I was just saying, like every time, like I have like a scenario in my module, I'm just like, I can make that better. I was like, this is not dangerous enough for my players. I know those
Right.
motherfuckers.
Yeah. Orta will just sigh and say, it disappoints me that this is the path that you want to go down.
When you say that, it just answers, we don't understand. Why are we disappointed? Are people who threaten us friends?
Every life holds an intrinsic value to the universe and to each of our experiences. If we were
Yes,
to
but-
eat them and destroy each other life that we interacted with, we would not grow. You may think that you will grow fat and strong from this, but you will grow complacent and alone, regardless of being in a hive mind.
We are never alone.
It would be a hollow experience.
But we are never alone. We have us.
You can be lonely while not being alone.
And she'll even add, like, because you're saying it's a hollow experience and you're not going to get anything out of it, but it's like, but we'll get calories out of it. But again, she kind of looks at you and you kind of get that one question. So are we not to eat threats?
In an ideal world, I would say no.
So how are
I'd
we
rather
to
not.
survive if we do not eat the threats? How are we to survive if we do not eat the friends? And how are we to survive if we do not eat those who have not interacted with us? We eat nothing, we die.
How to put it?
You see what I'm saying? Like, she'd ask you, so what the fuck am I supposed to eat then? A little more convoluted, but you get the idea, you know?
There are some
Indeed.
things that cannot be eaten or should not be eaten.
But those things look like walking bacon. Are you telling me we're not supposed to eat the walking bacon?
If it is intelligent
These-
enough.
We don't think attacking us is very intelligent.
How to
It sucks when the intelligence of the hive mind levels up a little bit and they're actually starting to pose intelligent questions. I'm sorry, bro.
how to put it?
It's hard to
Not-
impart light side, you know,
On things
morality.
that care
Morality is
about-
something who cares about survival. Because there's no self-sacrifice there, right? And everything that's light side starts with self-sacrifice at its core. The moment you include the self into it, it becomes really difficult to impart that to someone. Sorry, keep going, my bad, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Not everything that threatens us deserves to die. Not
Oh, boy.
everything.
That's a whole can of worms, okay.
Perhaps my mentality just differs to yours. I feel as though our connection would have made it so how my certain views of the world are would be imparted upon you to some degree.
We feel as that has been the case. We do not eat friend. We do not eat intelligent. We do not eat, well, much anymore.
That admirable that you have. That is admirable. I apologize for insinuating that you have not learned from me, and I appreciate how hard you work in that regard.
We simply don't understand why we should not eat unintelligent creatures that bear their fangs at us.
Regardless of our view of how intelligent they are, they can speak and they do have a sentience to them.
And she then says probably the most effed up thing you might have heard her say so far. As she looks at you straight in the eyes, and she says, "But everything has a language."
Indeed, I suppose that is the case.
And everything has a will. And give me an insight check, please.
Bring Fry.
22.
You can feel her in the Force. She's fully developed the Force sensitive perk at this point. Feat at this point. And what she's referring to with the language she's hearing, that's the Force.
Perhaps you understand far better than I had initially thought. You're no longer the little one that snuck into the
Little
pantry.
llama.
Right? And
I'd
then...
say that
Oh, go ahead. Oh, go ahead.
there's not. I'm still very ignorant of all this myself. I wish I had better answers. but my perspective is small.
And at that point, you just see a mental image, right, of how she sees things. And you see like the grains of sand. You see the slight movement of an insect or a rodent or something under the sand. You can feel the heat radiating from its body, and you can feel the hunger at the pit of your stomach. And she just asks a simple question: Should I die so that it can live?
I've never needed as much as you need.
Well, yeah, that's the unfortunate reality of, species differences, but just plug her into a ration factory or something when you get back, right?
I cannot truly relate to the hunger that you feel and how much you have to consume. In my head, self-sacrifice is a logical path to take. If an innocent life were to be lost, that I could have stopped it from being lost, I would take that path. In my head, that's the totally natural thing to do. Life, in and of itself, has an intrinsic value. An intrinsic value that I wish to protect as much as I possibly can. But I have never experienced something that, like, what you experience. So, I can't really say I know exactly what you are going through.
Okay. Nixie walks up to you. And wraps her multiple appendages around you in a gesture that could only be described as an awkward bug trying to give you a hug. While trying not to, slice you with, its raptor claws. Or talons, or whatever the fridge they're called. I know we had a specific term for them, but you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. I will return the hug.
Kodak is not sure why the affection outburst is happening, but he's like, we're burning daylight.
Okay. Yeah, on that note, you guys do head on out towards the towards the sand dunes where that metal door is situated. Thankfully, the way you built your contraption, it's capable of getting through the complex to that door. If only because, like I said, this place seems to be built slightly supersized, so getting the equivalent of a hovering forklift with a drill at the front through the complex is not that difficult, actually. Remember that there were rancors in some of the containment areas and whatever in here, so it's built tall enough and big enough. You know what I'm saying? That you guys have no issues getting the drill to that bulkhead.
Just to confirm, we are at level 1 exhaustion, correct?
Correct.
Okay, just making sure it wasn't higher.
Nope, you're fine. And there is a problem, though. Ish.
That drill's too big to not trigger that infrared laser that we've talked about earlier.
I could try to disarm it.
Okay,
Give guidance.
let's see it.
Tech roll?
You get D6.
Is it a tech roll?
Yes, sure. That's what you use to hack and whatnot, yes? If I remember correctly.
Yeah.
So go ahead. Yep, let's do that.
Okay, so that's gonna be a 24 plus 6, so 30.
30,
Okay.
30.
So disarmed.
Hopefully.
With a 30, yeah, definitely. No, you're good.
It's like-
That is easily the case.
All right, so let's get this drill to the door.
Okay.
What do we do, Mibble? You just need us to hold it in place? What's gonna happen?
Put it in place, and we're gonna drill through and try to push through the door. What do I need to roll?
You don't need to roll anything. You've got a drill to do that for you.
Okay.
And funny enough, as soon as this hits the blast doors, you hear an alarm chime, and the blast doors open.
Huh.
The fuck?
As a voice comes through the speakers, it is robotic in nature, and it says, "I would prefer it if you did not destroy the door."
And we prefer if you
prefer-
gave our friends back.
Yeah, what he said.
I do not detain your friends.
Elaborate. What do
Your
you
friend-
do then?
Your friends invaded the premises. The parasites that inhabit this place have captured them.
Who is it
So
that
you-
we're speaking to?
Yeah.
I'm afraid you are not privy to that information. Not yet, anyway.
Well, we have this big, beautiful drill, and we're not opposed to putting big old holes in your base.
As I said, the bulkhead has been opened. Any further damage is quite unnecessary, I assure you.
Are there any bulkheads further ahead?
None that are closed right now.
Yeah, I say we keep the drill in front of us in case like Robot Boy gets any smart ideas.
Mm-hmm.
May I ask a question of you?
Of course.
Are we enemies in this, or are you willing to help us get to our friends so that we can get them out of here and in turn get out of your base?
Give me a minute. How would they answer that? Oh boy. Now you're asking me a tough question. One sec. The answer is simple. It just says, "We will." Sorry, I will not. When the Nixie wires cross with everything else, I will not impede your progress as long as you do not cause any unnecessary damage.
Alright, one more time, I didn't quite hear you.
I will not impede your progress as long as you do not cause any unnecessary damage.
I guess it's as good as we're gonna get from a robot.
What exactly is this place?
Sorry, can you repeat that?
What exactly is this place?
You're asking that to it?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but you do not have the clearance level for me to give you that information.
If we remove the parasites, would we gain that clearance level?
No, the protocol for increasing one's clearance level is different.
And what would that be?
I'm afraid my data has been corrupted. I cannot answer that.
We're dealing with an AI.
This is why I prefer living things.
Well,
As
as
you
of
guys-
right now, oops,
Mhm.
sorry.
Nope, you're fine.
As of right now, we got nothing in front standing in our way. Let's keep going.
Yeah,
I was
I'm
still-
not kidding. I'm not kidding about pushing the drill through, because the second
Same.
we get to a bulkhead where this thing can cut us off, I'm pretty
And
sure it
since
would.
this thing is like a forklift type thing, I guess, Mibble's driving it.
Just see Mibble like in a sidecar.
As you guys are going in and chasing towards you don't know where, because you don't even know where they are in this particular facility right now, you kind of get the feeling you're maybe running in circles a little bit. As Orta, you open a door at one point to what seems to be some form of crew quarters, and it's one of those rooms that has like a small cot, a bed, a desk, that kind of stuff. And on the desk, there's a mighty familiar looking data pad.
Is it like the same
Go
data pad
towards
we
it.
gave the hut?
No,
I know what it is.
it's the Rakata type data pad you guys have been bumping into here, and right, left, and center with that big red button in the middle. You thought I forgot about your draws.
I trip comically and fall onto the data pad.
You're like, I don't want it, but I guess I got it.
I imagine it's like it just zaps me.
Force. You feel the pull of the force. It's your destiny.
This is the way.
This is the way. All right, how you want to do this, good sir?
I mean, the force is leading us.
Okay.
I'll head towards the data. I'll head towards the data pad, thinking that it might have answers on what we may need to know. After all, there's no way it does the same thing as the other data pads. It's in a completely different place.
Yeah, it's completely harmless.
Yeah. It's like maybe it has answers on how to increase our clearance.
Okay. And
Okay.
do you push the big red button in the middle?
I push the big red button in the middle.
Like,
Everything explodes.
Right. So how do you
Rocks
want to
fall,
do this
everyone
when it comes to card drawing here? How do you want to do this?
What are my options?
Unfortunately, I have not yet built the expanded version yet of the deck of many things. As such, I would need you, if you don't mind, simply to pick on a deck of 22 cards how you want this to work.
A deck of 22 cards? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, so I'll just do a 1d22 and roll 20.
Okay.
19.
Okay. Give me 1 second. I have to verify something really quickly.
Okay.
Roll me a d3.
Okay. Two.
Okay. You, after having had that moment with Nixie earlier, and everything else that's been happening in very short amount of time over the last few days, you don't know if it's the stress of being constantly fighting for your life, or if it's just in general the revelations you got through your interactions with Nixie or whatever, or just the humility you had in responding to Nixie when she confronted you about those things. But you have gotten very much in tune with the Force, and it almost feels not like you're one with it in the sense of, you know, you have now become a Force ghost, but more along the lines of you are extremely acutely in tune with it, to the point where instead of simply submitting to it, it almost feels like you could very slightly influence the outcome of things, as you have rolled the card that will be granting you 2 uses of the Will of the Force power, aka the Wish spell.
Oh.
But yes.
Okay. I'll start writing up drafts.
You're like, let me write up the contract now, boys. But there you have it. However, I will tell you this. The red button on the datapad is still glowing red.
Okay. That's weird. It didn't turn on. Unless would one of you want to do the second draw? Because there were 2 draws.
If you want to pass it along to the others, I do not mind you guys sharing.
I mean, do either of you want to do a draw?
Mibble is sitting in his drill cart. Is like, anything in the rooms?
I'll grab the data pad.
All right, here we go.
I'm like, what do you mean it won't, like, you know, turn off? It's a data pad.
I don't know. It didn't. I felt a weird surge of electricity, but other than that,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and Kodav just, like, you know, grabs it and, like, you know, inadvertently his, like, thumb hits the button, because
Yeah.
I'm presuming the button takes up the whole data pad.
Mm-hmm. Okay. How do you want to do this?
So am I pulling from the 21 that's left, or am I doing a whole new draw?
I have reshuffled everything.
And I guess I'll do the same thing. I will do a D22.
Okay.
18. Looks like Roll20 likes rolling high today.
Right. All right. This is heresy.
Considering my luck with Roll20, I'm like, you know, I'll probably get the void card.
Give me a minute. Let me check. No, actually. You are actually going to be on the lucky side of the Force today, sir. I just need 2 minutes because I have to actually determine this somewhat randomly.
Oh, oh Jesus.
Not by choice. That is as written. So give me 1 second, okay?
Okay.
If you do not mind. Where is it here? There it is. Okay. Can you please roll me a d4, please?
Okay. Roll a live dice for that one. Let's see. D4s. Where are my caltrops? There we go. Oh, well, it's a 4. I don't know if that's good or bad.
Okay. Perfect. It's not good or bad. That's not the point. Give me a second. Can you roll me a D11? Oh, sorry, a D10, please.
Okay, I was
Nope, no, I'm potato. I can't count. D9. Sorry.
D9. Okay.
Mhm.
Five.
Check here. Okay. This is fun. You push the button, and the datapad starts to transform.
That's interesting.
Yep. And what is in front of you now resembles, for lack of better definition, for those who have seen the series, it looks like one of those Mandalorian jetpacks. But they're not chemical in nature, they're repulsors. And what this means is from now on, should you be wearing this artifact, by using a bonus action, you now have a flying speed of 50. They last for 1 minute, and once they've been used, they cannot be used again until an hour has passed.
Is that knowledge imparted to me?
Yep. You can tell what these are as soon as they build, for some reason, even though you've never seen them in your life before.
Like, I don't know why, but I this is it's a repulsor backpack. I can fly.
Basically.
He can fly.
And Mibble, you see this thing, and you see it, and you're like, oh, holy crap, this is like an advanced version of my jump pack.
Show off.
I didn't know this. I just touched the data pad, and this happened.
As yes, you got a wondrous item out of there. That is the card that you drew.
Well, he puts it on. He's
Very
like,
good.
you know, he's like, he doesn't know what kind of shenanigans are going to happen in this place, but you know.
Let me put it to you this way: if you guys bump into an elevator shaft again, at least it will not be. It will not be.
Oh
the
my
DVD
god!
of the fight.
You know, it's funny because of that whole I took wall run
Yep.
as a force power.
Yup.
Like,
Well, let me just say that you are now the BBEG of the elevator shafts. Well, turbo lift shaft, but yes, you know what I mean.
He's like, I fear not the turbo lift anymore.
Correct.
I am the turbo lift. He's like, that was weird. And then he just like, shakes his head, and as he shakes off the wonder of getting this thing, and he's like, Only more important things. Only.
I'll be able to get to them faster. Let's keep
Yep.
moving.
Good. So you guys keep moving, and as you do so, you seem to be getting deeper and deeper into wherever this is. Until you get to a room, and in the back of the room, you see two of what look like magnetic containment cells, with both Only and her mother just suspended in them. They're kind of floating again into in the middle of those cells. And around them are those 6 very well-armed Trandoshans and that big robot I was telling you about earlier. And it turns towards you in a much nastier, much more robotic voice. Simply says, scanning. Intruders detected. Activating elimination protocols. As it brings its weapons to bear towards you. And while I would love to go on for an extra half hour or hour, I think this is a perfect place to stop, as it'll permit Only to join us next session for the fight.
I concur.
Provided you guys get her out of her containment spell, but yes.
We got some pretty we got a pretty impressive drill. I think that'll help.
Oh man, dude, this drill is gonna go right through that sucker's belly.
And yeah, that's gonna be it for today. Unfortunately, like I said, a slightly smaller 3-hour session today, but that's the best that we can do. So yeah, provided you guys enjoyed this, despair not, for this is not our only show. On Mondays, we have the 4th season of Destiny Forge, the flagship of the channel that is being run by Rojan. And then on Tuesdays alternating, you'll have more Tales of the Outer Rim for Star Wars with myself. Following then, on Thursdays alternating, we still have Tricorn Isles and Mass Effect that will alternate every week. And then on Saturdays, we now have Downfall of Propriety and Withered Wastes that also alternate every week. And then in the evening, we, of course, of Saturdays, we, of course, have, what's it called? Vigilant 6.
Vigilant 6. Used to be
Correct.
called Ruby Heroes.
Yeah, that still needs to be fixed on the bot. I'll actually take care of that after. But yes, all that to say, we definitely have that. And I believe we will be having session 0 of Daggerheart also coming. I believe it's this Saturday.
Yep, Saturday evening, 8 o'clock.
Yep, session 0 for our Daggerheart campaign, which will be alternating with Vigilant 6 again every week on and off. So yeah. I hope you guys all had a lot of fun today. Thank you so much for showing up. Thank you for listening. I hope you guys all had as much fun as I did, but this was definitely entertaining. Good laughs for around the table. And yeah, thank you very much. Signing off.
Bye.
I'm waiting.